guys, it's Izzy here, and today I'm going to be doing a spooky book recommendation video for Vlogtober day 19. So I'm going to be recommending 5 spooky reads to y'all that are perfect to read this time of year. Let's get into it. This one is one that you guys have probably seen every single one of these recommendation videos that you've watched, but this is a work by Mary Shelley and really is perfect for the Halloween season. Y'all know what it's gonna be. Since it is a classic, that means this book is more accessible to a wider audience in different countries and whatnot, so I think it's really important that I discuss those books on my channel because I want y'all to be able to read books and be able to read them in your language and all of that. I just think that is really good. Into talking about Frankenstein, and I've read all these books, so I'm going to leave links to my Goodreads reviews on them down below in the pinned comment. Victor Frankenstein is a scientist who goes further than any scientist has ever gone before. He brings to life his creation. However, it does not go as planned, as the creation or the monster has a mind of its own. The creature becomes a monster because it is rejected by his creator and society. This is a really interesting story just to see how wrong science can go and how far, and it makes us question how far should we really take science. I think it's really prevalent today with having technology, AI, and all of that. And another thing, what I think is personally the main theme of this is what judgment can do to somebody, how judging and being mean to somebody can really make a monster out of them. Next, let's go to The Silence of the Six. We'll keep the science fiction theme going by going to the first book in the SOS series. I don't know if it's a series or a trilogy, but this is a contemporary and not a monster-driven Victorian novel like the one written by Mary Shelley. So this is one that will have you on the edge of your seat throughout reading it. I had it set as a sci-fi novel going in, but I really think it's a thriller and should be marked as one rather than being in the sci-fi section of stores, because there's not really hacking. It's like the only science thing about it, and I'm sure we've all met hackers before or have dealt with them, so I don't really think it should be listed as a sci-fi thing. It needs to be in the thriller category. So I should also state that this is a work of young adults, so it is suitable for multiple audiences, but do be aware there are a lot of trigger warnings for this, so please, please, please look those up before deciding on reading this book. Let's get into what is this book about. So Evan is only 17 years old when he commits suicide on a live stream in front of his whole high school, and the high school is hosting a presidential debate when it happens. He mutters words of the six, and nobody is really sure what that means, and that the six are being silent. So Evan's best friend Max Stein is scarred by this. He feels guilty and thinks he should have been there for his friend more instead of focusing on girlfriends and popularity and whatnot. However, he thinks this is very unlike his friend Evan to do something like this, committing suicide and doing it in front of a whole audience, because Evan's always kind of been like antisocial kind of guy, not really wanting to be the center of attention. And then he does this in front of all of America pretty much watching. So Max then becomes the target of a government chase because he's trying to uncover the mystery of his friend's sudden death, and then comes across other things and so he goes on a wild chase all over the west coast of the United States as he tries to find answers of what happened to his friend Evan and why his friend Evan would do something like that. And about the six, he has to dust off his hacking skills on this journey to find out who the six are and why they're being silenced. So stalking Jack the Ripper now. This is a favorite by many, but let's go back to Victorian times, but keep it in the young adult grouping, so it is more accessible to younger audiences and not hard to understand and all of that. So this is a very hyped book and one loved by the book community here on BookTube. This book really ties in with Frankenstein, so I think that it would be fun to read these two close together. I read them within the same year because I read Frankenstein in school and then I reread Frankenstein later. And so I think I read these books about 6 months apart, but I think reading them like in the same month would just be a really cool experience. I read this one, as I said, back in high school in 2018 when I was first getting reading and into reading again, and I just remember enjoying this book so much. And I really need to reread it and continue the series because I've learned the bad way that it's not good to read books far apart, at least for my mind. So is this a book that I would have to revisit to read the second book, or can I just go to the second book not having read the first book in like 3 years? So let me know if you've read this series. But if you haven't, here's what the book is about. So Audrey Rose Wadsworth was born into high society, the daughter of an English lord, but she does not care about the life of being a proper socialite in London. She leads a secret life where she is studying to be in the medical field, and this lifestyle is obviously against the wishes of Audrey's brother and father, but not really her uncle. They can't help that. She sneaks away to go to her uncle's private medical lab, where he has been doing autopsies on these bodies that are being found around the city that are very brutally murdered bodies. So this leads Audrey into the mystery of the man who's ripping through the streets of London, why he's doing this, who is he, and all that. And that man we know today is Jack the Ripper, but still to this day we do not know who Jack the Ripper was, why he was doing this, or anything like that. So we just found out who the Zodiac Killer was, maybe. So maybe one day we will find out who Jack the Ripper is, but I think that will be something way more difficult since this was back in the Victorian times in the late 1800s. But it would be really awesome if we can uncover the mystery. So I Am Watching You. This is one of the first thrillers that I ever read, and I probably found it somewhere on Booktuber, Goodreads, so shout out to whoever brought me to this book. So this is a contemporary murder mystery and perfect for this time of year. I was very cozy reading this English thriller. I was all bundled up in my bed and it was like rainy weather. I may have been a hurricane, I don't know, but I do remember being in my bed right by that window reading this book. So what is this book about? So Ella finds herself eavesdropping on her train ride. There's two young men are speaking with two a little bit younger girls. Nothing really piqued her interest until she found out that these two men were fresh out of prison. Red flag, red flag, red flag, that current meme right now. Ella doesn't step up or say anything to these girls. She's like, it's not my business, I shouldn't step in. What if these guys really are changed after getting out of prison? She doesn't know what they went to prison for. It could have been something really minor and not like murder or anything. But this is something that she'll regret doing. She regrets not stepping up and stopping the girls from talking to these guys. The next day after the train ride, she finds out one of the girls, Anna, has been reported missing. A year goes by and the girl is still missing, and Ella starts to receive threatening letters about the crime or about the missing persons case. Someone knows where the missing girl is. Her family and friend group are just keeping too many secrets away from the authorities. And Ella is being stalked. So you have all those kind of mysteries, and obviously they all do tie together. And this, I think, if you are just getting into thrillers, I think this is a good place for you to start. Last book now. So our last book is an adult one and brings more of a fun vibe, more of that fun, spooky vibe. So I think this book will be perfect for fans of shows like Stranger Things and even Scooby-Doo. I bet you didn't think Scooby-Doo would get mentioned in this. And then fans of movies like It. You'll find joy in this one, but be aware this is an adult book. So just, yeah, be aware of that. And again, trigger warnings for all of these books. Be sure to look up trigger warnings before going into any of them. In 1977, the Blyton Summer Detective Club was formed. These kids and their dog would go around a small summer town in Oregon and solve little mysteries, never anything paranormal or anything too crazy, you know, just a fun little detective club that they would do each summer. The story then flashes forward to 1990 when our group of teens are now grown adults. And they have to come together to deal with an actual monster this time and not a man behind a mask. So the monster in this is very Lovecraft inspired. Obviously, that guy's had a lot of issues with there a lot of people choose not to read Lovecraft, but don't let that turn you off from reading this book. They do not only have to deal with monsters. That's not the only thing they have to deal with in this book, but their own problems is coming to terms with sexuality, alcoholism, and just old demons from the past, and things that you have to deal with as an adult that you didn't really as a child. And I did the audiobook for this, so I do think the audiobook was really fun, and I think that you guys might enjoy doing the audiobook. And that is our last book here today. So these are 5 thrillers that I've read over the years, and I think can fit for a wide range of people. I can only hope that you guys decide to pick one of these up and enjoy it. If you have read any of these, let me know your thoughts on them in a comment. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. I am doing Vlogtober on my channel, posting videos every single day of October, so be sure to ring that notification bell to be notified when the videos go live. I also stream on my YouTube channel every day. That's Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also stream on Twitch as well, and you can get the link to that in my description box. And I hope to see you on my next video. Bye!